Thank you for watching this video. Please click on the like and subscribe buttons so that I can continue to make more videos like this.
A three-point saddle counts as a 90-degree bend. The code states that you're only allowed 360 degrees between outlet boxes or conduit bodies. Also, a three-point saddle can be a bit harder to pull wire through than a standard 90-degree bend. Therefore, it is often a good idea to use what I call a half-angle three-point saddle. A half-angle three-point saddle uses only half the angles when making each of the bends of the saddle. So, in order to clear our obstacle, we must therefore multiply the depth of the saddle by 5 rather than 2.5. And one important difference to keep in mind when you're making your calculations is that the shrinkage will only be 3/16 of an inch for every 2 inches of depth on the half-angle three-point saddle. But the total degrees will only be 45. The bend will not be as tight, and it will be easier to pull wire through it. In fact, I like using a half-angle three-point saddle whenever I can for this reason. So let's go ahead and calculate that now over the same situation. Once again, we remember we have our 2 3/4 inch obstacle to get over, and we're going to make 3 inches our depth. And we're 36 inches away. So to do this, we got 36 inches. Now we only need 3/16 of an inch for every 2 inches. So if we go 3/16 of an inch for the first 2 inches, and then just a little bit more for the next inch. Now it's not going to be super critical in this situation to be totally exact, because the difference will be negligible. But that's, without doing a lot of math, that's an easy way to calculate the center. Okay, now here's where it gets just a little bit tricky as a math to remember. For each inch of depth, we have 5 inches away. Now on the three-point saddle, it was 2.5 inches, but here we must go 5 inches away from the center. So it's 3 inches of depth. 5 inches times 3 is 15 inches away from the center for each mark. So those are the marks that we make on our side. And we have to mark the other side as well. I'm going to make these marks a little bit bigger. So now it's time to bend. And once again, the first mark we're going to make, the first bend I should say, is going to be the center bend. So we want to take that center mark and still put this on the saddle point of the bend. Now here's where the half angle comes in. Instead of a 45-degree angle like we made on the first bend, we're only going to make this 22 degrees, which is just slightly less than half of 45. So we're going to bend it down to 22. Alright, I like that bend. Now the second bend, once again we move up with our line and we go to the arrow mark. And again, I can see it on the top from this side. Now, I look down the pipe, make sure I got this bend straight, rotate the conduit so that's straight. I'm straight up and down there. Now, on the other bend we made for the regular three-point saddle, it was 22 degrees. Now half of that is 11, so we have a 10-degree mark on our bender. So we'll make it 10 and give it just a teeny bit more. And that looks like I got it right. In fact, that one might be just a touch big. And now for the other bend, again, it's the same. This bend will also be a 10-degree bend, so we have the arrow mark, again, lined up with our mark on the pipe. And I have to get this again lined up so it's all the same. So let's take a look and see how we turned out. You can see we got the center of our pipe over the center. And then if we look back the other sides of the pipe, we can see that we come off the floor or the elevation, we're flat, and we come up much more gradually than we did on the three-point saddle. And then we come back down again much more gradually and back to the same original elevation. And you can see that this conduit, it would be much easier to pull wire through this conduit than the first three-point saddle that we did. Now let's look at a comparison of our three-point saddle and our half-angle three-point saddle when we look at them together. Here we can see we have the centers pretty much lined up, and we clear our obstacle in each case. But notice here how this bend is at a much more shallow angle than this bend. And when you're going to go and pull the wire, this is going to be much easier to pull wire through. And especially when you get to the top bend here, this bend being a 45 and this one being a 22-degree angle, again, much easier to pull the wire through on a half-angle three-point saddle. So I would recommend that if space allows, that you use this bend because it's much easier to pull your wire through than on a regular three-point saddle.
Thank you for watching this video. Please click on the like and subscribe buttons so that I can continue to make more videos like this. If you find this video helpful, please consider donating using the PayPal link below. Thank you.